But I got up there and I just put my head in a little bit further, and I could not believe it. I was like, there is no freaking way. And I never say that word, but I was like, there is no freaking way this is the thing. And I pull it out, and sure enough it was. And I just start screaming at the top of my lungs, I found it! Holy Stazie!
Hello and welcome back to Cash Me Outside. I'm Caden, joined by Christian and Chad. And it's over, folks. The Bank of Utah treasure has been found. How are we feeling? It was a little bit faster than we hoped for.
We got one good episode out. Well, I guess good is.
Man, the shortest series of all time.
I know. We had a lot of stuff planned. We were looking forward to more bets and to other
Yeah,
things.
we were going to do bets.
We have to return the bounce house.
What?
I know. We're not getting that deposit back.
No, we're not. But here's the thing. As disappointed that it's all over right now, I can tell you that the only one more disappointed is Bank of Utah.
I know.
That's true.
I do
I bet
feel
there's-
bad for
I
Bank
bet
of
they're
Utah.
I bet they're pretty bummed.
Well, first of all, we just had that great interview with the winners.
Yeah, so we just got off the phone with them. We'll play that interview after our kind of wrap-up conversation here.
Jeanette, Koaly, and
Stazie.
Stazie.
It's incredible that you got him right because you got him wrong every single
Well, no,
opportunity.
you got it. What did you call
Well-
Stazie? You called Stazie Bazi?
I thought they said Bazi, and I wrote it down because I had never heard that name before.
I know.
It's actually kind
And
of a
then
dope
I
name.
said Bazi, and I
They called you out
obviously
on it.
wasn't right. So sorry, Stazi.
Mad props to them.
Yeah,
I can't
for
believe
sure.
they found it. I mean, they obviously did an incredible job,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah.
they
and
they
you'll hear in the conversation they worked for it, but
we're not going to talk a lot about the individual details of the solve. Number one, because Bank of Utah has come out and said it, and then also in the interview, they do a really really good job at breaking it down line by line and everything that they did and how they found
Yeah,
it.
you could see where. I mean, how much did it match up with Bank of Utah's?
Pretty much.
pretty darn close.
Yeah, I mean they found wasn't really anything in Bank of Utah solve they didn't know, but they probably went a little too far and found some additional things
Yeah,
that just kind of reinforced where they were.
I think the one big one is they didn't see the cave through the eye. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, well, it's such a bummer because here's the deal.
That's really cool. I like that idea.
It's so cool.
But yeah,
It was very Lord of the Ringsy, with like where the thrush knocks, or the on Durin's Day. You know what I'm talking about? With the light on the keyhole.
oh
Yeah,
yeah. I do know
like-
what you're talking about.
And like it was, I think that was such a cool idea. First of all, like Bank of Utah, really, the reason I'm bummed it's over is they did a really good job with the lines that we've been released so far.
Mm-hmm.
The other lines that they worked on, probably they spent a lot of time working on them, and they're probably super cool and clever. And I don't know if we're ever going to see the rest
I
of the
know.
clues.
Yeah, and I guess there's just some give and take. This is an interesting conversation, I feel like, because just with how you do a treasure hunt, Bank of Utah versus the Utah treasure hunt, where they make a very difficult poem and release it all at once, and the Bank of Utah makes a pretty like no one's mad about their interpretation of the poem, whereas people are very mad about their John and Dave's interpretation of what the poem means. So I think people like the poem of the Bank of Utah one more, but they release it in pieces, and yeah, it's just difficult.
It's just hard. I
feel
my
like-
heart goes out to whoever takes on
it was
a
good.
treasure hunt, whoever organizes it. It's just really hard to do.
Yeah,
and
It was
It was a good poem. It was
It
a
was
good one.
awesome.
It was very cleverly written, and I like the fact that they do a different format. I think it's cool to zig
Yeah,
and
for
zag.
sure,
I agree.
I think it's cool.
I think they try to account for the fact that their poem is less, is a little simpler by releasing it slower. The big bet they took this year
was releasing the sixth one at the beginning.
was releasing Clue 6. I understand why they did it, because if you don't release the sixth clue and you're going slow 1 week at a time, people are just going to be like, cool, this is a cool treasure hunt. I'm going to wake
I'm
me
gonna
up
wait. Yeah.
on Clue 4.
Well, yeah,
Um,
I mean, I guess from a business standpoint, it's pretty smart. They got people into Bank of Utah locations. I don't know like how many, but
yeah.
yeah, I almost wonder if that was like an executive was like, why are we doing these treasure hunts? Let's get them into the.
No, they
It
did
look
it. They
is,
did
like-
that last year too. Like,
Oh,
when you
did
could
they?
go in there and get like a bandana and things like that.
okay.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a really good business idea. I hope Bank of Utah continues to doing it. I wish it would have lasted longer because I want whoever is the brain trust behind this is probably not the executive team. Maybe I shouldn't make
That's
assumptions.
true. Like it's a creative.
Yeah, and I feel bad for them because I want the executive team to be like, "Oh, this is awesome. This gave us 7 straight weeks of great impression share,"
Yeah.
And hopefully they feel the enthusiasm of the community about it and the gratitude that we have for the Bank of Utah for
Right.
doing it, and they'll continue to do it.
Yeah.
For sure. And one thing that we talked about with the winners, but there's a cool thing, and like you said, a zag when in a zigging treasure hunt community is I do like the charity aspect of it, and I think it's a really cool piece of this hunt that gets talked about a lot that we really appreciate, and I think is really cool because a really deserving charity just got $10,000 that they wouldn't have normally gotten, and so I think that's something that I hope doesn't get lost in this because it was found very quickly, and because we're talking about the solve, I just want to shout out Bank of Utah for really making something
Keep doing
really cool.
Keep going.
And
I hope they keep
and
doing
yeah,
it.
we're sad we didn't find the treasure, and we'll talk a little bit how
I'm never
Christian,
really
Christian
that sad.
got us pretty close. Christian's getting better.
Thanks, guys.
You're welcome.
I got us to Harriman. But last year, Clue 2 got you to Park City, and the wallet was found in Echo, which is like 23 miles away.
Here's the thing. If they didn't find it this week, we were going to talk about it on the episode this week, and you were there.
I was going
You
to tell
were- you
people
were in
about our
Harriman.
clue for Harriman, like
Yeah.
our solve for Harriman. But the problem is like I'm not even going to go look for it because it could be in Tooele, it could be in Lehigh.
Uh-huh.
If it's 20, 30 miles away, like what's the point of searching yet? It's just way too big of a place to look.
I think what happened.
Yeah.
Here's what happened. We have this ingrained cynicism from the Utah treasure hunt, where it's like, don't look for the first 4 weeks.
Yeah, just
That's
wait, gather
100%
information,
what
process. Yeah.
And Stazie, Jeanette, and Koaly are. This was their
They're
first
new.
year with both,
They're new.
and they didn't have that cynicism. They weren't mad at
They
the world
weren't
and
jaded
at life.
by the
They clearly
their
aren't mad
fruitless
at God.
trips to the trail.
You haven't been abused by Dave and John yet. We were born in the abuse. I don't know. That was my Bane voice, and also
It was good.
an inappropriate comment about abuse, but which is not a joke. And if we had won, we would have donated.
Oh my gosh.
Where are you going? I did not expect this.
We need to stop recording
No, we don't.
so late at night.
Oh, no,
Okay.
I think we need to
Okay.
record later.
No. So, anyways, yeah, like I love that they were like, screw it. We know it's Harriman area. Like let's
Yeah, they just
not
went out.
wait for the next coup because they're absolutely right. When you go east of I-15, there's so much more private land and there's just less trails.
Mm-hmm.
And so they just did the law, like they're just like deduction. They're just like, well, there's really 2 big trails in Harriman. Let's just
Yeah.
go look for it.
Yeah, and kudos to them. And like we said, you'll listen to that conversation, but yeah, really great job. They narrowed it down and solved it really quickly, and
Yeah.
we're happy for them.
Are we? Do we want to talk at all about like? Are we doing anything next, or is it just see you guys next year type of thing?
I think we would like to. We caught a little flat-footed. We thought we'd have more time to.
We're really gonna give you some great episodes breaking down these side quests and these little piggy banks.
They found
We're
a pig.
just like, where is the piggy? For 50 minutes, until it's found. No, by the way, people in Utah are amazing at finding treasures because number one, obviously the big treasure that was found and how amazing that was. Also, that little piggy side quest.
Seriously, it was gone.
Kaden and I saw it the
Well-
minute it went live. We figured it out in 5 minutes where it was?
Yeah, and then
We
There-
thought we
you guys-
were freaking Carmen San Diego. We thought we were geniuses. We're like, boom, boom, boom,
You
boom.
guys know
connection.
that there is like a sport. It's not geocaching. It is
Geospotter.
Geospotter.
Yeah.
Yeah, where it's just a picture of a land,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
then
yeah.
someone just goes on a map and finds it.
Yeah.
It's like a whole thing on TikTok. I've been watching it for the last month.
Utah,
Insane.
just if there was a treasure hunting Olympics,
Yeah.
we would run the world.
I do wonder that. Like I was thinking that during our interview with the winners. I do wonder. I know they have treasure hunts in other states, but I wonder how good Utahns are getting at treasure hunting. Between the Bank of Utah one, which is going to get bigger and bigger as long as they keep doing it,
Uh-huh.
and then the Utah treasure hunt. I don't know.
yeah, there's a lot of riddlers out there.
I
got
already
a lot of
feel
riddlers.
just like a sharpening of my keenness. Like I am just like, I feel like you could write me a riddle and I could just figure out whatever the answer
Here's
is.
the problem. I don't think there is an actual like treasure out in the world where there's a poem tied to finding it. Like, is this a real world experience type? I don't know how
I
our
know how
society got to
practical
this
this
point.
treasure hunting skills are. I don't know, but I do know a lot about history, and here's the issue though. Everyone gets better, and then everyone's knowledge about like history like it compounds. Like there was stuff from this most recent treasure hunt where I had like things that I remember that I had researched in previous years that like stood out to me.
I couldn't stop thinking about Dominguez and Escalante.
Yeah. And so like it's going to get tougher and tougher for treasure hunters to outsmart Utahns to make these poems that are still technically solvable that are not found so fast because it just takes one person to find it.
Yeah.
And people are so smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's
That
just a
might-
lot of people looking too.
That might have been the situation with the Bank of Utah. Like as it grows, it's not just we can do what we did last year. It has to be harder each
Which I think they
each
can.
year
I think they can
with how
do
many
it.
people
like,
do it. Yeah, I think
they can keep this like let's just like example.
They can keep the simplicity. How would you do it
Okay.
if you were asked to?
Well, I'm
create
not gonna change like radically what they're doing. I think what they do is cool.
Yeah.
But like little small things, like for example, the Thomas and Henry. Just make that Tommy and Hank. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's such a small way to make it a little bit harder.
We talk about staying 2 steps away from a solve.
Yeah. Or
that's like one step.
or say T and
Yeah.
H.
T and H.
And then like the black hoppers, call them dark leapers.
Yeah.
Because that's a little bit further away from black locust, from like a grasshopper.
Yeah.
And you just like it's not like they're not that far off it. It's just finding synonyms maybe for some of the words that are clues
Mhm.
that where appropriate, take it one step further a little
Yeah.
bit, where it's not like a huge leap, but a little harder to make that connection.
Yeah. How many people do you think were like? Was it just us, or was it just you and them?
No, tons of people were on Harriman.
Everyone was thinking
Not
about
everyone,
Harriman.
but from what I was seeing, lots of people. I mean, once you found out the Thomas and Henry and
Right.
the 2 black locust trees, which technically, when you type in and just Google Utah black locust, you'll find that listing for Harriman because it's on Harriman's Wikipedia page talking about the distinct 2 black locust trees.
Oh, really?
So you have that, and then you have the organizers being Thomas and Henry, and it's like, oh, well, it's in Harriman.
Well, here's the other difficult thing: is you have to hide the treasure so that not only it will be difficult to find, not only for the people that are actually solving it, but for the people that are solving it incorrectly.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it can't be stumble uponable, and I don't think this was necessarily,
Yeah.
but it did feel like there were
No,
several ways to interpret to get there.
Yeah.
Did it not?
Yeah, I think they were on. I mean,
I don't want to come off as like criticizing of it because again,
No.
we
No.
love the
No,
poem.
they.
We
I mean,
like it a
from our
lot.
conversation, the way I left that conversation was that they had the right solve, but they, like Christian said earlier, they just went maybe a little bit deeper or found other ways to prop up their solve or to make it make sense.
I just wish it couldn't have been found without doing the eye thing because that is so cool.
It's one of the
That would have
coolest.
been if that had been the only way to find it. If that had been found like that, it would have been the best treasure hunt that we have covered.
It'd be the best
Right?
part segment of any treasure hunt
It's amazing.
because it's like freaking Da Vinci Code.
It just
it's
feels
like
yeah.
it feels like an adventure.
It feels very National Treasure.
It just happens to be those were like the only rocks on the trail. And so people were like, "Well, it's not this rock. Let's go check
try
those
those
rocks."
rocks, yeah.
Yeah. So it's just, and who knows if these people maybe like didn't find it, maybe the treasure hunt would have lasted 7 weeks.
Yeah.
and it would have. It just takes
Totally
one
could
person
have.
to find
Just takes
it.
one.
It's
Yeah.
just
It's
unlucky.
so hard.
Yeah. So I hope the Bank of Utah keeps doing it because
it's fun
Yeah,
and they do a
it's
good
very
job.
fun.
And I'm hoping to get to
I
Black
kind of
Desert
hope
here
that
soon.
I kind of hope we get more digital treasure hunt type of things like the Utah treasure hunt QR code hunt. I kind of want the Bank of Utah to do something a little more digital next time, but
Well, it does open things up to you can do it outside of just the months of like June to
that's
August,
true. Yeah.
because people don't want to do these buried things because you can get a late snowstorm in May, you can get an early one in like October.
And then we'd
Yeah.
have something to talk about in the winters.
But like there's so many businesses that just like are just all about the bottom line that are like, I just think it's so cool that Bank of Utah. I know we're just like propping them up, but like that, like they're like, let's find a clever, unique way to engage the community in something really fun, giving them some money enough to make it really appealing to win, and then also giving something to a charity. kudos to their marketing team who came up with this and who are executing it. I want to give them love because I'm sure they're disappointed that it was found so soon.
For sure. No.
Do
Yeah.
you think you'll ever do a treasure hunt?
No, because I don't have any money.
Would you write one and try and
Yes,
find?
I have and will.
You have?
You,
Well, so
Wait. You have one?
well, I mean, yeah. What do you think I do in my bathtub?
let's do it. Let's
do you
write.
think
A,
I do in my
to
that's
imagine
that's
that.
what we should do. We should write a Cash Me Outside treasure hunt.
I would love that. So
This feels staged and it's
But
not.
it has-
So we're talking about this for the first time.
you know what we should do?
Hey guys.
We
Here's
have
the deal.
no money to hide.
There are so many. There's a lot of people who are like smaller who are trying to do these little treasure
Yeah,
hunts.
that's true.
And like I feel
It's true.
bad because like I don't always give them a much attention because I'm like if they don't have a lot of money behind it, this sounds so
It's just
bad.
difficult. Well, no,
Well,
it's just difficult. But I don't want to get out of my. I don't want to go on a hike for $25. I just don't.
Yeah, and so I usually just I associate like large prize monies usually with like organization and structure and like a bigger community doing it, which is always fun because it builds that like
Yeah.
competitive element to it.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm just from what I've seen so far, the only two treasure hunts that like cross the needle for like do it for me is the Bank of Utah and the Utah Treasure Hunt.
Yeah.
But I
That's
would
true.
love if there were some other groups that would do it.
Well, maybe we should get Snowball to sponsor your little treasure hunt.
I do have a murder mystery game, party game that I wrote. You can buy it on Etsy. It's called Dead Man Walking. 33 people have bought it in the last 3 years.
That's
And he's
pretty
got
good.
some rave reviews.
It's got pretty much all 5 stars reviews except that guy named Dave in North Carolina.
What did he say about it?
I don't know. He's an idiot and didn't put it on right. And make I don't know. You're fine.
Anyways.
My legal counsel has encouraged me not to say anything about Dave.
All right. Well. Anything else? Any
I think
business
that's
to conduct?
it. No business. We don't have any bets to resolve.
Well, we do have the old bets to resolve
Okay.
that we
That's true.
messaged you on Saturday. That was our chance.
Okay,
we can still do it.
we had a good
we
reason
can
he
still do
couldn't do it, and things happened. We will do this.
We will do it. We're totally good for our Utah treasure hunt bets for sure.
Okay.
We
All right.
will do those.
And if we can find a way to
Christian.
get back into your ear holes between now and the next Utah treasure hunt, we will.
Christian said something stupid here.
And
Christian said something stupid here.
that you will.
Well, I gotta edit that down. I have to. I can't have you saying that. I'm always the one saying we should keep it. You finally went too far.
Just like yeah. That's,
Yeah, you
that's
just
not
stop
it.
talking now.
No, we love you guys. Thank you for listening. We hope we can come back.
Christian said something stupid here.
Oh my god. An idiot. All right. Well,
All right.
Caden?
Well, thank you guys again. We've got the interview with the winners coming up next. Thanks to Bank of Utah. Thanks to everyone who listens, and we'll catch you on the next one outside.
Hi, welcome back to Cash Me Outside. I'm Christian and I'm by myself. We had some technical difficulties last night when we had Koaly, Jeanette, and Stazie, who's not on this call. Unfortunately, she got joined today. But we had an amazing call, the best call you'll never hear, because we had some technical difficulties and we lost it. So I'm back here today with Koaly and Jeanette again, and we're going to be able to walk through and ask you all some questions about the solve, about your experience, and finding the treasure. So I'm going to just, everything you say, I'm going to act like I'm just as surprised as the first time I've heard it. So, but thank you so much for joining today. So I want to start off by asking just a little bit about you. I know that Stazie wasn't able to join, but we got a mother-daughter super trio, sounds like. Is that right?
Yep. Yeah.
And have you been working on this treasure hunt together for a while? Have you done previous treasure hunts together? Or is this a team that's gone back in time, or are you guys relatively new to treasure hunting?
This is our first year. We didn't know anything about any of these treasure hunts before, so we found it this year. We started with Utah Treasure Hunt, and did that one for like the solid month of just hiking. And we did at least, I don't even know how many solves, Mom, like 14, 15 hunts.
13 or 14 trails.
It was was insane. We were out there a lot, and we were really, really close, right on top of it. Actually, the night before it was found, we were right there. It just got dark. We couldn't find it. And we hiked that trail, the Koaly Trail, like 7 times, and it was really frustrating. But yeah, this was the first year that we really tackled it, and it was the three of us for this one, but like our whole family was really involved as well. Like we had at one point my dad came on a lot of the hikes with us, and Josh's Stazie's husband came and took my little girl, and we packed her through most of these hikes too. And Ian, my husband, came a few times too. So we had a lot of helpers for sure throughout the treasure hunt. It was really fun to come together as a family.
I think that's awesome that you were able to do it as a family. I'm jealous. My family doesn't care about this at all. And so I think it's way fun though to be able to do this, and regardless if you find treasure or not, develop and grow those family bonds together, and have an active little group chat where you're throwing theories out. And I think that's one of the real fun things about the treasure hunt is what it does for relationships and how it brings people together. So I think that's really, really cool. And it sounds like you're just right on the cusp of being back-to-back treasure hunt winners. You were right there. We were actually on that same trail that same day that you were, and had some of that same thing. I think there were quite a few people who were kind of on it, but man, I must have just walked right by those rocks, and it's a bummer. But it also tells you the importance of just being persistent and following your gut. And it sounds like you all have a knack for this. With this Bank of Utah treasure hunt, when did you feel like, hey, we're onto something? Like we think this is pretty magical to solve. Was there like an aha moment that you had?
Yeah, it was the black hopper line that really made our aha moment. We started, and Mom and I like solved the beginning part pretty solid with Salt Lake City. Because it seemed pretty simple. That one was pretty straightforward with the grid and the flavor with being salt, and um the mom actually found the two Bic, and we had different ones than they did. We thought it was the Utah, or sorry, the Salt Lake and the Wasatch Mountains, because those are just too big, and the Salt Lake's the only ones that touch those two. And so we were like, yeah, we're pretty sure like this feels good, like Salt Lake. But we were stuck on it like being in the city of Salt Lake, because it said Bookend City, and this is our first hunt, so we also didn't know the structure of like the past hunts. And so when the Clue 2 came out, it kind of like threw us through a loop for a minute. We ended up hiking like Ensign Peak and City Creek, and just like trying to make, because we're like it has to be in Salt Lake. And the Clue 2 like seemed like it could be like this is the place, because it had the Thomas and Henry trains, and so we're like,
Yeah.
oh, there's like a little train thing, and then the copper was like they have a little mining thing there. And so some of the clues, and there's like a Cuban restaurant right next to this is the place part, and so we're like, oh, like this is it, this is what they mean. But like none of the trails around there were just fitting very well, and the black hopper line was driving me nuts, because it's like it doesn't really fit, like it doesn't make a lot of sense. Like there's black pioneers, there's like we're like, is there black grasshoppers in the grass? Like we were just like, what in the world is like this black hopper mean? And so then Mom brought up the idea of like the Mormon pioneers with the seagull story, and like they ate a bunch of like crickets or locusts and things. And so we started Googling like pioneers and the locust, and that actually popped up with black locust trees, because those are the trees that the pioneers would like build often in that area. And so we started researching black locust trees, and there's really two areas that are famous for these trees that the Mormon pioneers planted, and there's one on the U campus. It's like Fort Douglas, I think is the name of it. And like it has a bunch of the black locust trees. And it kind of fit because like the copper Cuban was like capital U, so maybe they're trying to say the U. So like maybe it's like the red butte, but like it still was like it doesn't really fit all the clues. And then the other famous place is Harriman, and it's Fort Harriman, and it has two black locust trees, and the rest of the fort has been abandoned and is gone, and the only thing that's left is these two um locust trees that stand at the front. And so I was like, oh, that makes more sense. It's at the entrance, like that century, and I really liked that idea. So then we started delving into like the history of Harriman and learned about Thomas Harriman and Henry Butterfield. And so there was our Thomas and Henry, and they were both the founders, and it was originally called Butterfield. And so, and then it changed to Harriman. So like that was rest for a spell with the spelling. And then
Oh wow. Yeah.
it had the Cuban I think so the Cuban with copper, I was like, okay, it could be copper, but why is it Cuban specifically? Is they just trying to do sandwich or what? And then I found out that there's actually a mineral called a cubanite, and that's got copper and iron in it, and that's also found in that copper mine. And so I was like, oh, that's for sure what they're trying to tell us.
Yeah.
And then the digging also makes sense with the copper mine. And so suddenly, like that clue didn't feel like a stretch anymore, and it just clicked, and we're like, yeah, that feels really good. And so we're like, it's definitely Harriman. So
I
then
think
we
that's
started.
sorry, just to interject. I
Oh,
think
go
it's
ahead.
amazing. Like um, most people, when they do treasure hunts and they're successful, they usually don't get all of the clues right. They usually get some of them, but not all of them. It feels like with this treasure hunt, and we'll continue to talk about yourself, it's like not only did you really get everything right, you also like found some additional things that they didn't even intend that actually worked. You like found more correct things than actually were that was intended. I think the Cubanite is really awesome. And then I don't know if the spell thing, I think if did they say that that was kind of the reason for spell? No, that's just an
They
additional thing
did
you found.
say it on the website. I wonder if she like
Yeah,
forgot, but I'm like, that seems like a really intentional word, but I don't
yeah,
know.
that's really cool. Okay, so you found, and I just shared my screen and kind of showed on the Wikipedia page the black locust trees, mentioning it actually on the wiki page for Harriman, and we had found that that's as far as we'd got to. We were like, yeah, it's Harriman, but then we were just like, we'll wait for more clues. And I love your initiative at this point. You're like, hey, we're not done. We're not like gonna wait, even though there's only been two of the six clues that have come. You just immediately started looking for trails, and you're looking for places to hike.
Well,
So
we weren't going to miss out again. I mean, we found that other trail a week before most people, and
yeah,
we were so like whatever that we're like, we cannot be this stupid again. We have to like get out and look. And so when we started researching all the trails in Harriman, I mean, there was really only two places to go, and one was mostly for dirt bikes, and we did go up to Butterfield Canyon, and wandered around for a minute, looked completely lost, looked at one of the trailheads with all the names of the different bike trails, and we're like, this isn't good. So then the other option was Yellow Fork up Rose Canyon, that trailhead. So we went there and hopped out and like, okay, we know that the next clues coming up will probably point us to the right trail, right? But we just looked at the map that's at the trailhead, and it had Yellow Fork that goes to um, Turkey Trail. And we even
Well,
took,
plus, and fork is like food too.
yeah,
yeah,
fork. So we were definitely thinking Yellow Fork. That's why we went down there. And so we go to Turkey Trail, or we start asking people how to get to the Turkey Trail, because there's Yellow Fork Road and there's Yellow Fork Trail, which it didn't really matter. They kind of like crisscross each other, but we wanted to make sure we took the right one that would connect to Turkey. Nobody knew how to get to Turkey. So we pulled up our other hiking trail app. I'm not sure what it was. Stazie had that.
I think it's
all
called All
trails.
Trails.
All Trails, was that the one? And so we just started following that for Yellow Fork Trail. And as we got closer, another trail popped up in the reading of the Turkey Trail. And right next to the Turkey Trail was Butterknife Trail. So we're like, that's pretty cool. How much further do we have to get there? I mean, at that point, we really felt like we were in the right spot between it being turkey and butterknife. Like, definitely goes with the whole feasting that they had in the first clue and digging in and like all that. We're like, that if it's here, we're in the right spot. And
And we
so
were following the OT clue too
the
from the
OT
side quest of OT 30. We're like, oh, it's probably either 30 minutes or on Turkey for 30. Like, we're trying to make
Hmm.
it work.
well, we're about, and then honestly about 30 minutes into the walking of Yellow Fork is the split to butter and turkey. It's like 31 minutes the way we walked. I don't know, but it's pretty close. And so Koaly's cute little girl, um, really loves her and needs her a lot. And her husband was taking care of her. And so he was like at the point where it's like, we don't want to be gone too long from her because we're down in southern Utah County. And so we're like, we better get home soon. So let's split. I'll take turkey. I'll take the butter knife. So you two go take turkey. We have no clue how far off the trail because of the rest of the clues, but we did have clue 6. I did the cipher with the keyword from the bank. And so we had clue 6 and knew that we had to be watching east for an eye-shaped rocks, right? And at this point, not seeing very many rocks at all. Like it's a pretty
I don't think we saw a rock.
Yeah, dusty
No.
trail
In the mountains.
and shrub oaks and a little bit of some river bridges, right? Like we were not super hopeful, but if it was going to be here, this was it, right? So we split up and we agreed that we would only go about 10 minutes max on the trail. And if it didn't look like it had rocks or anything that would actually be a place that would have a cave, because that was the clue in 6 is that it was kind of in a cave, that we would just turn around and re-meet each other, and then we would just wait for the next clue to come out and try again. So they took Stazie and Koaly took turkey. I took butter knife. It wasn't very
There was
far down.
no rocks on turkey. Literally not a single one. And we were like, Stazie and I were bummed. We were like, man, we just failed again. And we were like so sad. And we are like, let's just watch. Mom's gonna like find it. And then we're like gonna be hiking for no freaking reason on this turkey trail. And then we don't have service. So we're like, how are we even gonna know that we hear? So, like, we had no idea what was happening, and then all of a sudden we heard screaming because Mom took butter knife, and she could tell the rest.
And so I started heading down butter knife, and after just like maybe 2-3 minutes on the trail, there's a big pile of rocks right on the side of the trail. It's nothing more than looking kind of like a gatepost type pile of rocks, like I don't know, nothing, almost man-made looking. And I was like, well, hey, at least there's rocks. Like this has like
First rock.
first like rock pile we've seen. So I was like, this is gonna be it. And then so round 2 more turns, basically, I saw another grouping of rocks, and I was like, and I was using my compass to make sure I was turning east, because at this point we've like turned so many different ways, so I'm not really sure which way is east. And I was keeping my compass out to make sure I was looking east, and sure enough, that rock pile was 100% east. And I looked up at it, and there was kind of like this little eye part, because 2 days before, my daughter had made me hike straight up part of City Creek Canyon because she saw something that she felt like looked like a cyclops eye, basically it looked like. And the clue was to look in
Just send your mom up there.
Yeah, because
we searched so hard on the other trail and looked on all the rocks, and we missed the one rock that it was in. And so I was like,
yeah, it's true. We're not missing it.
Go look at the rock.
I knew if I didn't that she wouldn't sleep that night, and so I was like, I'm not. And she already doesn't sleep because of the newborn baby. So I was like, I will do tribute. I will run up there. So I did that. But this one was like so close to the side of the trail. It wasn't steep to get up, but it was kind of like a straight up right where I was at looking at it. So I backed up just a little bit, went up in an easier spot, and as I was coming around to where I knew the little cave part was, I saw a little kind of like plastic bag kind of looking thing. And I was like, are you kidding me? Another stupid geocache? Because when we did the other treasure hunt, we came across so many geocaches that threw us off. We're like, yay, we found something now. Stupid Ziploc bag was something, clueless for us. But I got up there and I just put my head in a little bit further, and I could not believe it. I was like, there is no freaking way, and I never say that word, but I was like, there is no freaking way this is the thing. And I pull it out, and sure enough it was, and I just start screaming at the top of my lungs, I found it, Koaly, Stazie. Of course I don't know if they can hear me or not, so I just start booking it down the trail. And as I'm booking it down the trail, I went, duh, of course it was on butter knife, because fork and knife for feasting. We were thinking turkey for Thanksgiving, but fork and knife go hand in hand.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Butter knife, and the founder was
Butterfield.
Butterfield. So I was like, of course it was there. And yeah, it just came booking it down. I'm still screaming and screaming because we agreed 10 minutes. So they were still up and coming back, but I'm screaming as loud as I possibly can. Should have been quiet, but I don't know how to do
Yeah,
that.
we were literally like, Mom, you're gonna get mugged. She's like calling like,
You gotta be careful. Yeah.
I am so bad. I'm a noisy person. So I was screaming. I do have a loud voice, and they came running down the trail, and I was like, I found it. And they were like, no way. And then I felt bad that I found it without them. So I was like, let me show you where I did it and we'll reenact it. And so I tucked it back into the cave so that we could walk it together and find it together and then take all the cute little pictures and then go call all our hubbies. And of course, my husband, I text him and told him because I'd, been searching for a little while and we missed out on the other one and he knew all that. And I said, we found it. And he's like, laugh out loud. Sure you did. So then I called him. I'm like, seriously, I found it. He's like, no, you didn't. I want proof. And so just held up the little wallet and
because he's funny. He listened to your podcast actually, and like the interview with Dave and John and how like they'd never hide it on the west side. And so when we told him we were going to the West Mountain, he's like, why? They never put it there. And we're like, wrong treasure hunt.
I love that.
so
That's
we were
awesome.
impressed that he like paid attention because I was listening
Yeah.
to the podcast and he was just with me. And so it was pretty funny. And I was like, he pretends like he doesn't care about the treasure hunt, but here he is knowing all the rules.
Yeah. Rick, thank you for listening, man. We appreciate that. That's awesome. And congrats to all of you. And I mean, obviously, you all found it. It sounds like you had a big support system of people who were there supporting you, encouraging you. So I think that's such a really cool experience to find it and then to find it as a family and to share all that good news and to have that experience. That's incredible. In the wallet, what was actually in the wallet?
It was a gift card, or not gift card, debit card, and then a little just note that said like congratulations and instructions on like how to call and like how to get the money for the next step.
I would have loved if it was like a $10,000 gift card to Applebee's. You're just
Right.
like you're gonna have Applebee's for the rest of your life. You're set.
Oh, well,
Oh,
maybe you can make a treasure hunt and put that in
Yeah.
there. But
Yeah,
I'd
Applebee's.
rather have the
Applebee's, call us. Yeah, we'd love to do a treasure hunt for you all. That's so cool. That's amazing and incredible solve. Like I said, I think what I appreciate the most about you all is like you're just like go and get it. Like so many people like us, we're just kind of sitting on our hands a little bit, thinking that there's no way, it's not worth it to go out and hike. Even if we feel good about Harriman, it could be all these different trails, and you not wanting to wait or sit back and just going and doing it. And some people will be like, oh, okay, maybe they were lucky. Well, no, they weren't lucky. You guys were hiking. This wasn't the first trail you hiked. You went on a bunch of different hikes. You tried a bunch of different things, and you truly had great solves for everything. I think I feel a little bad for Bank of Utah, because obviously they
Yeah.
probably wanted this to last a little longer. When you called them, were they a little bit like, oh shoot, you found it?
Yeah, they were a little, you could tell they were a little sad. They were like, wait, you found it? Like, how? And then they were like, did you even go to the bank and get the other clue? Like, they were just so sad that they, like, I
Yeah.
think they had all these, like, obviously, like, their clues are really good. And, like, they had things in there that we didn't see, like the tree part of the poem on the second clue. So, like, they're pretty in-depth clues that they probably worked on for a while. And so I think it was sad that they didn't get to release all of
Yeah,
them.
I mean, they did a great job, and I think especially the clue at the end with clue 6 of the find of the rock, and then to look
Yeah.
through the eye rock and see the
It's very
pile of rock.
unique.
I think that is a really, really cool idea, and I'm sure they had lots of other cool things with that. But I mean, that's kind of the risk of doing a treasure hunt, is it really just takes one person to find it, and
Yeah.
and you were that one
The
person
problem
and you
was
did it.
Harriman really just only has like that. There's only really one good trail in Harriman. So once they gave us the city, and they also put it in the place where there's literally no other rocks. Like if it was like hidden in a tree trunk or something like that, there's a lot of trees, and so we probably would have needed more like direction and stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was unfortunate on their end on that one because it's one trail and one rock. So.
Yeah, but still, it took a lot of ingenuity for y'all to go get that. So I think that's incredible. What are you gonna do with the money?
Well, my mom is the star of the show. She's turning 50.
No,
And
Jeanette, no.
yeah.
And my dad's birthday is like 4 days later. And so they both have done so much for our family.
One thing you need to know about my mom, she's probably the most selfless, giving person on earth. There's no way that she cares for us and her family more than she cares for herself.
And she really is the soul and of our family, and just so caring and giving, and the most kind, generous woman you're ever going to meet. And we just love her, and she's always selflessly serving everyone around her. And so we really wanted to be able to honor and like celebrate her. And Hawaii is one of her favorite places, and the beach. And so now we get to go as a family and kind of honor her and kind of just bond as a family in Hawaii, and it's a really good opportunity. And then it's nice because we will all work together as a family to find it, and so to be able to use it as a family is really nice too.
That's amazing. I love that so much. And then the other really cool part of this is Bank of Utah also allows you to choose the beneficiary of $10,000 for a charity. And have you determined what charity you'd like to donate to? And can you tell me a little more about that?
Yeah, so Koaly will tell you about the charity, but I'll just brag about Koaly for a second since she did that. So Koaly went to school for early intervention, childhood specialist, and so she's specialized in birth to 5, and she worked with autistic children before she decided to stay home and be a stay-at-home mom with her first little cute baby. And so that's really close to her. So the charity that she picked deals with early intervention and helping with the funding, and I'll let her tell you that. But it's really close to her heart and everything that she does, and she's put a lot of sacrifice and time into that and part of her career and her education, and she's helped a ton of families get the early intervention, and she's a specialist with autism. So we picked a charity that honors her.
Yeah, it's called the Utah Kids Foundation, and they specialize in helping like families get diagnoses and resources and like money for medical equipment. A lot of these families, I've worked, like she said, hand in hand with them, and they just, it's such a burden to um, there's a lot that goes into having a child with a disability, and so to have on top of that all these medical bills and being able to get these medical equipment, it's a life changing kind of thing. And they're just basic human rights of things that help them move and live, and things that we get to do every day without needing all this equipment. And so being able to support them and making sure that they can have a better life is really important to me. And so I was really happy that that was one of the foundations that we could choose from.
That's so special to hear. I love hearing that. We had a son born 8 months ago, and he was born at 26 weeks and was at primary children's for 4 months, and has had a number of complications and setbacks and things such as that. So hearing that you're donating to, specifically to children who have had those type of struggle, or donating to a charity that supports things like that, that hits home. That means a lot, and I'm sure it means so much to so many families. So I think that was an excellent choice. Thank you, and I'm sure a huge thank you to the Bank of Utah to set up this hunt and to do this in this way, to be able to give to the community and give to a charity that you've chosen that is doing such important work. I think that's amazing.
We still can't believe that we found it. We feel extremely blessed to have found it when we did as well, just because we've got a lot of stuff going on with our family, and we made a lot of sacrifices to do all these hikes previously too. Like Koaly and I were getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning and going hiking with a baby, and so that I could get to work on time. And then we would go late after work and just stuff like that. And I've got some stuff going on with some other family members that we're not going to be able to hunt after this week anyway. And so we were like, if we don't make the most of it now, we're not going to find it. And so the fact that we did find it and that we're going to be able to do this, like, it still blows both of our, I mean, not the whole family. We're just like, how are we so lucky that we actually get to do this? And we feel extremely blessed and guided to be able to find it as soon as we did, because it was just a blessing for our family. And we're extremely grateful to Bank of Utah for putting this on to kind of heal our wounded heart from the big loss of the other. Like, it's just been incredible to me, like how I still just can't even believe it. We are just beyond grateful and beyond in awe that this is happening. So
Yeah.
And don't worry to all of the wanderers, we're not related to anyone at the Bank of Utah. We didn't have any connections or anything like that. We just are a family that loves National Treasure and we love puzzles, and it's just something that we wanted to do as a family.
We didn't even
But
the
there-
treasure hunt until last Saturday night. So
Oh, well, okay. Add insult to injury to everyone else. Not only did you find it fast, you started late, but you're this amazing dream team. I'm a little bit worried about future hunts
you
because,
should.
I mean, you've been, yeah. Oh, I love that. When people have been doing this for years and years, you just jump in this year and been like, yeah, we'll take a 6-week treasure hunt and we'll find it in a week and a half. That's pretty impressive. But what a great story. What a great family and a great cause that you're supporting. Thank you so much for taking the time with us today and to help us do this again after the technical difficulties. I think I'm learning a lot about how I can be a better team member with my team, because the way you treat each other is probably the way that maybe Chad and I have something to learn from that. Maybe if we had better harmony on our team, we would have better success. But love your great example of that. And once again, thank you. To finish off, any tip that you would give to new treasure hunters or people wanting to experience the same success that you have, what tip would you give them?
Keep it simple. Sometimes, especially I know the David and John ones are really complicated, and so we try to make it really complicated. But sometimes you're just overthinking it and trying to make it more hard than it really is. And so sometimes the simple answer really is the answer. And like once you start hiking it, I think that's when it starts clicking in. And I think we kind of mentioned that earlier too. Like a lot of people are just kind of waiting and doing a lot of research and not like hiking them, but like once you start trying out some of those ideas, they start clicking and they make sense, and you don't have to stretch the clue anymore. That's when it like feels solid, and just trust like those simple, like, yeah, we've got the right answer.
There's only so many things you can Google, right? Like there were a lot of things that you find on the trails that are the clues that you're not going to be able to Google, which is part of the point, right? And so when you get on the trails and just be willing to go and realize that you're going to hike 10, 12 different trails before you get it right the first time. But there are things, even like when we went, there were things that we saw with the Turkey Trail or how to get there, like that we didn't know because we hadn't found it in our research. But on the trails, you get kind of more of a feel for that. And also, like I would say, stay open to change. Because like at the beginning of this one, we thought for sure it was in Salt Lake City because they had made such a point of that. But then we did more research and figured out the patterns. So check patterns, always look in past years of what their home patterns are, or clue patterns are, and then don't be so fixated with it that you can't be fluid, and go out and do it.
And I'll add one really important factor is we're a very Christian family, and we actually said a lot of prayers with this one and included him in that, our Heavenly Father. And it was important. Like I know that kind of sounds cliche coming out of Utah, but don't be afraid to involve God in all your affairs. He cares about you. And on the trail, both for the Utah Bank of Utah one and the previous one, we got promptings to go certain places. Like on that trail, both my mom and my sister knew that was the right trail on the first one, and we were guided on the other one. So that's just my little plug for sure. Definitely helped.
Love it. Incredible advice and incredible people. Thank you again for taking the time for us today. I'm looking forward to messing up this audio and video so that we can talk again tomorrow.
Like, don't just do our daily interview.
just Groundhog Day every day. You're just going to relive it with we'll have a different team member of ours. You can just cycle through it. No, thank you for being patient with us. We're excited to. I didn't catch that. You guys did say it one more time. Do that.
We're doing another interview tomorrow too, so you better get this one out before.
Well, you know what? Thank you for choosing us first, and we're happy to know we got some competition for your time. But thank you for taking the time for us at all. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.